Good evening, my dear friend. May the peace of God rest over your home tonight. In this video, you're going to receive a powerful night prayer and a message straight from the heart of God. A message that may be exactly what your soul has been waiting for. Tonight, God wants to speak to you clearly, gently, and urgently. And if you stay with me until the end, you will feel His presence comforting you, guiding you, and lifting the weight from your spirit. Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling overwhelmed lately? Confused about your next step? Carrying a silent battle that nobody else sees? Do you ever feel like God is trying to get your attention through situations, thoughts, or even through your restlessness at night? If any of this connects with you, then this message is not an accident. It's God reaching for you. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you will hear a word that can bring clarity to your mind, peace to your heart, and strength to your faith. God has something important to reveal to you tonight. And I believe this prayer will bless you deeply. There is a sacred stillness that comes only at night. A moment when the noise of the world finally fades, and the voice of God becomes clearer than ever. As you lie down to rest, heaven leans closer, whispering to your spirit in ways you may not even notice during the day. Tonight, in this very moment, God is calling your name gently, firmly, with purpose. And you are not here by accident. Something divine is happening right now. Something meant only for you. You may have felt it recently, a stirring in your heart, a discomfort you couldn't explain, a sense that God is trying to get your attention. Maybe through a situation that surprised you, a door that suddenly closed, or a heaviness you can't shake off. These are not random moments. They are signals, holy signals, because when God wants to speak, He often begins by awakening something deep inside you. And tonight, that awakening becomes impossible to ignore. As you breathe in slowly, you may notice a gentle weight lifting from your shoulders. That is the presence of God settling over you, calming your mind, steadying your heart, preparing you to receive what He will reveal. You are safe here. You are seen. You are heard. And while the world may have overlooked your pain, God never has. He has been watching you, guiding you, protecting you, even in moments you didn't realize He was near. Think about the battles you've faced recently, the silent ones, the emotional ones, the ones you never told anyone about, those nights you cried quietly, those moments you questioned your worth, those prayers you whispered under your breath. God saw every tear, every struggle, every moment you almost gave up. And He brought you to this message because He has something urgent, something loving to say to you before you sleep. There is a reason why God speaks so powerfully at night. It's because your heart is finally still enough to hear him. When the noise of the world quiets down, the noise of your soul, resigned to God, steps into that space. He steps into your exhaustion, your worries, your fears. And right now, he is stepping into tonight, into your room, into your spirit, ready to guide you through something important, something you've been unknowingly preparing for. But before he reveals the full weight of his message, he needs you to understand this. He has been calling you for a long time, and tonight, that call becomes clearer than ever. Something in your life is about to shift. Something in your spirit is about to awaken. And what God is preparing to say next may very well change the direction of your heart. So stay, because the message you are about to hear will connect deeply with the battles you're carrying right now, leading us into what comes next. There are moments in life when God doesn't just speak, he calls. And tonight, his whisper carries a weight, a sense of urgency that you can feel deep in your chest. This is not just another prayer video, not just another moment of comfort. This is a divine interruption, a holy pause. God is stepping into your night to say, listen closely. This is important. Something in your spirit already knows this message is different. Have you noticed how certain thoughts keep returning to your heart lately? A feeling that something needs to change, or that you're being pulled away from something that no longer aligns with God's plan for your life. These are not coincidences. When the same thought keeps echoing in your soul, it is often God tapping you on the shoulder. And tonight, he is tapping with greater intensity because the next step you take matters more than you realize. You may have tried to brush it off, to pretend you didn't feel it, to avoid acknowledging that God has been speaking. But he sees the crossroads you're standing at. He sees the decision you've been postponing. He sees the weight you've been carrying alone. And he knows there is a danger in staying where you are. That's why his voice tonight comes with clarity and firmness, because his love won't let you stay stuck. Sometimes God protects you through conviction, sometimes through discomfort, sometimes through sudden moments of truth. His goal is not to scare you, but to save you, guide you, and keep you aligned with the destiny he wrote for you long before you were born. And this message tonight carries that exact kind of protection, a warning wrapped in love, delivered with divine urgency. Feel the shift in the atmosphere right now. That stirring in your spirit is not anxiety, it's alignment. It is God adjusting your heart to hear him more clearly. Every breath you take pulls you deeper into his presence. Every second you stay in this video prepares you for the next revelation. Something powerful is unfolding, and you are right at the center of it. But before God reveals why this message is so urgent, He needs to remind you of something essential, something about your identity, your worth, and your purpose. This leads us directly into the next part, because what God will say to you next has the power to break chains you've carried for years. You've been carrying more than you show, more than you speak about, more than people around you understand. And God has seen every piece of that invisible weight, the fears, the disappointments, the unanswered prayers, the emotional bruises you hide so well. Nothing escapes His eyes. Tonight, He wants you to know that your silent battles matter to Him deeply. There were nights you tried to fall asleep, but your mind wouldn't stop racing. Painful memories, worries about the future, fears that whispered louder in the dark. You thought you were alone in those moments, but you weren't. God was right there, watching over you, placing His hand over your heart, keeping you from breaking. He has walked with you through every valley, even the ones you didn't talk about. And He knows how tired you are, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You've been fighting battles that were never meant to be fought alone. You've been trying to hold yourself together while pretending you're fine. God says, tonight, I see you, I know you, and I am closer than you think. These words are not just comfort, they are truth. There is a spiritual battle surrounding your life that you cannot see. Forces trying to discourage you, confuse you, distract you from your calling. But there are also angels fighting for you, protecting you, covering you from dangers you never even knew existed. God has been handling attacks you didn't see and blocking burdens you weren't strong enough to carry. That's why you're still here tonight, because heaven has been defending you. And yet, God knows there is something deeper you've been avoiding. A decision, a cycle, a habit, a person. Something that pulls you away from His presence and weighs down your soul. God is not revealing this to condemn you, but to free you, to lift you, to protect your destiny. Because the next chapter of your life requires a lighter heart than the one you're carrying now. Before you can step into what God has prepared for you, He must show you why He's speaking with such urgency tonight. And in the next topic, His message becomes sharper, clearer, almost like a gentle but firm warning spoken directly into your spirit before you sleep. When God speaks with urgency, it is never to punish you, it is to protect you. And tonight, His message carries a warning born from pure love, a warning that says, do not return to what I pulled you from. He sees the traps you don't see. He hears conversations you never heard. He knows the intentions of people you trusted. And because He loves you, He cannot stay silent any longer. There is something or someone trying to pull you back to a place God rescued you from. A mindset, a behavior, a relationship, a cycle of self-sabotage. And while it may look harmless on the outside, spiritually, it is dangerous. God is saying tonight, this is the last time I'm warning you. Because the next step you take will shape your future. His love won't allow you to walk back into what once broke you. You may feel tempted to return to old patterns because they feel familiar, but familiar doesn't mean safe. Comfort doesn't mean purpose. And what once felt like stability might actually be a spiritual trap trying to silence your growth. God is telling you that the enemy always tries hardest when you're close to a breakthrough. This resistance you feel right now is proof of what's coming. Listen closely, because this is important. Your spirit has outgrown some things your flesh still misses. You've matured past environments that no longer align with your destiny. And that tension you feel, the discomfort, protecting you from going backward. God is calling you higher, and the higher He calls you, the more dangerous backwards becomes. The enemy wants you exhausted, overwhelmed, and confused, because tired people make desperate choices. But God wants you alert, strengthened, and spiritually awake. That's why He brought you to this message tonight. He is saying, I'm speaking to you now because the next season requires a version of you that cannot afford old chains. And before God reveals the next door He is preparing to open in your life, the door you've been praying for, He needs you to understand the weight of the transition you're in right now. The next topic will open this revelation even deeper, because something powerful is about to be spoken into your future. What you're walking into is different from where you've been. God is shifting you from survival to purpose, from confusion to clarity, from heaviness to peace. You're not just entering a new season, you're entering a God-sent transition. And that's why the spiritual pressure has been so strong lately. Pressure always increases before breakthrough, always. There's a blessing forming behind the scenes that you cannot see yet. But God has been arranging conversations, opportunities, and divine alignments that will surprise you. What you thought was a delay was actually a divine setup. What you thought was rejection was protection. And what you thought was silence was preparation. God has been working even when you couldn't feel it. This next door is not just an opportunity, it's a responsibility, a calling, a spiritual advancement. And God needs your heart positioned correctly before He opens it. That's why He is dealing with your habits, your relationships, your thoughts, your spiritual sensitivity. He is preparing you to walk with confidence into what He designed specifically for you. God is saying, I'm not closing this chapter to hurt you. I'm closing it because the next one is sacred. There are people you will meet, environments you will step into, blessings you will carry that require a stronger, wiser, more spiritually awake version of you. That version is emerging right now. Tonight is part of that process. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust the artist. Trust the author. Every tear, every prayer, every lonely night has been building toward something greater. And God is closer than ever to revealing what all these battles have been preparing you for. But before you walk through that door, there is one more thing. God needs to reveal a truth about your identity and your spiritual authority that will change how you see yourself forever. And this revelation unfolds fully in the next topic, where God begins to show you who you truly are in His eyes. You've spent years believing you were weak, but heaven has always seen you as a warrior. You've seen yourself through your failures, but God sees you through your future. You've measured your worth by what people said about you, but God measures it by what He placed inside you. Before you sleep tonight, God wants you to understand this. You are chosen, you are protected, and you carry a divine authority that darkness cannot touch. When God looks at you, He doesn't see your mistakes, He sees your mission. He doesn't see your flaws, He sees your faith rising. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You carry the fingerprints of heaven on your soul. God is reminding you tonight that you are stronger than your past, greater than your fears, and destined for something far bigger than the battles you've been facing lately. Every storm you survived wasn't just survival, it was training. Every heartbreak wasn't just pain, it was preparation. Every valley wasn't a setback, was shaping your spiritual authority. You've walked through fire, and yet here you are. Not burned, not destroyed, still standing, still breathing, still searching for God. That alone makes you unstoppable. And God is saying tonight, you are not the person you were a year ago, not the person you were a month ago. I have been transforming you quietly in the background. You carry wisdom now. You carry resilience. You carry discernment. Your spirit is sharper. Your faith is stronger. Your heart is softer. All of this is preparing you for the blessings and responsibilities ahead. This is why the enemy has fought you so hard, because he sees your potential even before you do. He knows that if you ever fully discover who you are in God, your power becomes dangerous to darkness, and that spiritual awakening begins tonight. God is revealing your value, your calling, and your spiritual authority. Because the next chapter requires a confident, awakened, anointed version of you. And now, standing on the edge of this revelation, God invites you to walk forward with boldness, peace, and certainty. But before you end this night, the final step one that will seal this message into your heart and keep you connected to the voice of God every night. If this message touched your heart tonight, Don't leave without taking a step of faith. Hit the like button so this prayer can reach more lives who need God's voice tonight. And if you want to receive powerful night prayers, prophetic messages, and God's direction every evening, make sure to subscribe right now. You are not alone. You are part of a family here. Turn on the notifications so you never miss the word God has for you before you sleep. May God bless your night, strengthen your spirit, and cover your home in peace. Good night, and rest in His presence.